What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 52, and we start today's episode off with some player training as we're currently training Tabak and Markovic, two of our Croatian youth academy players. We try and get them to 60 overall so we can check the potentials once they come out of the academy. And also our assistant manager did manage to negotiate a deal with Copenhagen, the Danish side, for Brian Cunningham of £1.6 million. That is his valuation, and I said in the last episode, whilst he might have good potential, we've got so many youth players here, and I'm not against cashing in on a few of them who won't have as much potential as some others, so I'm okay letting Cunningham go. Anyway, for the first game of today's episode, it's the big one. It's Chelsea in the FA Cup quarter-final here at Bramwell Lane, as Frank Lampard's side will come and take us on in Yorkshire for another, I'm sure, incredible battle in this new rivalry between Sheffield United and Chelsea. Since the series began, it seems every time we face Chelsea, it's a really, really good game. We've got the better of them on most occasions since we started the series off, but they are, of course, a much better team. They line up in a 4-3-3, and they, of course, include Lautaro Martinez, who you might have seen briefly at the start of the episode, is the top scorer of the competition as well. And with us right now, trying to get to Wembley for the first time in this series, heading into this game, the one thing we couldn't afford to do against the Ruthless Blues was make mistakes. 3 minutes in, what do? We make a mistake. Sadly, passing out from the back is one of my Achilles heel in this year's FIFA. I unfortunately do get it wrong quite a lot of the time, and this time it happens at a really crucial moment in a really crucial game. Just 3 minutes in, I wanted a good start, especially defensively, against their high-powered offense. I gave the ball away with Godfrey. Terrible, terrible mistake, and eventually as Tolisso turns it in, Chelsea are gifted the opening goal of the game. But despite the mistake, they were leading on merit. They were a much better team in the opening half an hour and would have been 2 goals up had it not been for a flying save by Dean Henderson. Frank Lampard thought it was in. Willian's free kick from just outside the area, palmed away by our number one as it's still 1-0, but it was all Chelsea in the opening half an hour, and that's why I wasn't surprised they would eventually double their lead through that man, Lautaro Martinez, who the cameras were on pre-game. 6 goals in the FA Cup, competition's top scorer. Well, now it's 7, and for Henderson, who made a brilliant save earlier against Willian, he had no chance with this one. Receives the ball, McKenna's jockeying, but as he's given a little bit of space from just outside the area, he smashes it into the top corner. Sheffield United 0, Chelsea 2, and it would have been 3 had it not been for Henderson making a brilliant save with his boot to deny his man. 2-0 at the break, and it should have been 3 or 4. Henderson's saves kept us in the tie heading into the half-time period, where Chelsea had been absolutely dominant in the first half. So in the dressing room, I said to the boys, lads, pick it up now, come on. It's the quarter-finals. If we want to get to Wembley, we're going to have to turn it up in the second half, pull our socks up, and get ourselves back in the game, and that's what we would do. 3 minutes after the restart, he scored in the last round, and he scores once again. Oliver Norwood, the captain on the pitch for this game, plays a brilliant through ball, and who's there to run onto it? DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. What a great debut year he's having back at Bramwell Lane. Good through ball by Ollie, keeps on running Calvert-Lewin. Kepa comes out to meet him, but it's a brilliant finish, and it's 2-1, and the game turned in the second half. We really picked it up. We began to attack. We began to start playing our game, and as Ivan Toney was through, he should have made it 2-2. Wonderful bit of skill to dummy to evade his man, go through 1-on-1, but Kepa denies the top scorer in English football with a brilliant flying save as the Spaniard turns it behind for a corner, and we spurn our chance to draw back on level terms. But it was all Sheffield United in the first quarter of an hour in the second half. We almost got the goal there to make it 2-2. That header cleared off the line, and then 6 minutes later, as Ollie Shaw does so well here to play a brilliant first time volley crossing the centre, Calvert-Lewin flicks it down. There's Toney to shoot, but Matt Miazga dives in and makes the block. So still 2-1, all the pressure, but couldn't find that second goal. And with 7 minutes to go, it's all over. Lautaro Martinez gets his second goal of the game. The FA Cup's top scorer gets his 8th in the competition, and Chelsea come to Bramwell Lane and show their class. Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 3. Ignore that busted scoreboard, it's been busted since day one, but a great little storming run, great cross across the edge, and Martinez sliding in, puts it past Dean, and that would do it. Final score, Sheffield United 1, Chelsea 3. A handshake from me and Frank Lampard. He says, I know you'll be back next year, and we will be back next year. You know, it's now 3 straight seasons we've reached the last 16 in the FA Cup. First season, heartbreaking loss to Leicester City. We were knocked out in the last 16. Last season, heartbreaking loss to Man City. We were knocked out in the quarterfinals. This year, heartbreaking loss to Chelsea. And once again, we're knocked out in the last day of the FA Cup. There's so much mutual respect between myself and Frank Lampard. We've got great young teams out there. We always have a good battle against each other. But it's Lampard who bests me me this time. Chelsea in to the FA Cup semi-final. We await our first place at Wembley. It's still not there. And unfortunately, it's another season without an FA Cup semi-final appearance. The board don't mind, though. The board only said we need to reach the last 32 stage, which of course we've done. So they're not bothered. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals. It's still much better than the board expected of us. But I really wanted our first place at Wembley this year. Semi-finals would have been fantastic, but instead, it's the quarters once again as Frank Lampard's side knock us out. And this epic rivalry between us and Chelsea continues. I've got to be honest here. You know, of course, no Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League throughout the first 3 seasons. Having a nice division rival is always cool in career mode. It really makes your career mode stays a lot more intense. And Chelsea are our rivals, and I'm really liking the little rivalry we've got going. But anyway, it's 3-1, and I've spent about 5 minutes talking about it now, so I best shut up. But still, following that, we had 3 scouting updates, and as you would have seen as well, Rocher, his low move has fallen through. And for our second and final game of today's episode, well, it doesn't get much easier, does it? We've got Liverpool, the champions, here at Bramwell Lane as we aim to bounce back. And how could we bounce back as well? This is a young Blades team. We've just been dealt heartbreak after that loss against Chelsea, knocked out of the cup. There's only now one path to European football, and that's in the Premier League, as we're playing catch up to Manchester United and Arsenal, still sat in 7th place, now taking on last season's champions. How would we respond? How would this young team pick themselves up after absolute heartbreak? Taking on Liverpool, well, right from the first minute we attacked, right from the first minute we looked for the first goal of the game, and right from the first minute we got it. 10 minutes into the game, he's done it once again. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, what a run the former Everton striker is having. 1-0 to Sheffield United for Eze as well. He has been brilliant since coming on deadline day. What a through ball into the path of the former Everton man. But sadly, he doesn't get credit with the assist because Romagnoli got a touch on the ball, couldn't prevent it from going into the path of Calvert-Lewin. And as you'll see here, the assist doesn't get credited to Eze. It's the second time we've seen this sort of thing this season. It's so annoying how EA can't calculate stats properly, man. So that assist would never get taken off him in real life. It's 1-0 though. We don't mind that Eze doesn't get claimed the assist because the goal still stands. We take the lead against the champions and we continue to attack relentlessly. 10 minutes later, we doubled our lead. Sheffield United 2, Liverpool 0 as they surrender possession inside their own half, and Ivan Toney, the shocker, makes it 2 for the Blades. What a start, and we didn't stop there. We continue to attack, we continue to be aggressive, we continue to look for more goals, and we could have had one here as Eze's pass is deflected, who drops back to Toney, who goes for goal from just outside the area. It hits the post of Sergio Roberto, who slid into touch. Still 2-0, we continue to attack. 37 minutes, Shaw rolls it through, Toney's through again, goes for goal, just wide of Carrick's far post, and at half time as we led by 2, we should have been 3 or 4 goals up. We were fantastic in the first half against the champions. They had no answer for our offensive play, but in the second half, as Jurgen Klopp sent them out there with a rocket up their backsides, they showed why they're champions. What a goal here just before the hour mark as Mohamed Salah would half the deficit. You see that little dummy there by the number 7? Look at that, absolutely brilliant. Pass back towards Salah, rifles it in, it's 2-1, and I was thinking, oh my god, half an hour to go in the game, don't collapse now. But the problem with young teams is that they feel the pressure, and unlike players with experience, youngsters tend to crack under the pressure a lot more often. And in the 69th minute, a double error here from 2 of our best players of the season, Ollie Shaw and Dean Henderson. Neither of them taking charge. This deep cross to the back stick, Shaw at 6'3", loses an aerial duel to Mohamed Salah. How on earth he lost that, I don't know. And for Henderson as well, comes out to fist the ball away, seems to fist McKenna instead, hits the deck, and it's turned in as Liverpool battle back from 2 goals down to make it 2-2. What would have been a famous win is now thrown away, and I was thinking, oh my god, now don't throw this away, don't throw this away. Liverpool looking for a 3rd goal to complete the turnaround, but instead Shaw robs his man and wins it back for us and finds Eze, and there's a chance on the break. Eze holds it up and rolls it through to Toney, who's in behind Romagnoli. Toney 1-on-1 with Karius, and Toney finds the top corner, beats the German and makes it 3-2. Ivan Toney, who missed the chance against Chelsea when running through to make it 2-2 in that game in the FA Cup. It was the same sort of chance, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, goes for the same corner, but this time Ivan Toney says, I'm not going to make the same mistake. Puts it into the top corner, out of the reach of Karius, as Sheffield United, who had surrendered their 2-goal lead, are back in front courtesy of the shocker. The young Blades show their determination to get back in front, make amends. It's 3-2 as Toney bags his 28th goal in the Premier League, and in the final few minutes, as we were clinging on to a 1-goal lead, Liverpool have a golden chance as Shaw once again makes an error. Roberto crosses, Grujic hits the post, and then Horta hits the post with a follow-up as well. Twice Liverpool hit the frame of the goal in a matter of seconds as Fleck boots the ball in the air, and this was pure chaos in the final few seconds. Clinging to a 1-goal lead, Mohamed Salah turns John Fleck, finds a bit of space, and then Jamal Lewis slides in, and Scott McKenna just hoofs it long as we still lead by a goal. And as Toney flicks on, Karius comes out to meet the loose ball, but the pass is shocking. He gives it straight to McBurney, an error by the German, and a chance for Ollie to wrap the points up. Beats Romagnoli, goes through one-on-one, but Karius makes amends and makes the save as it's still 3-2. The additional 3 minutes of stoppage time being played. The whistles are ringing around Bramall Lane from the home fans. We want the referee to blow his, and he would. Final score in one of the most chaotic finishes to a game ever. Sheffield United 3, Liverpool 2. The champions are beaten, and what a response from our young Blades as the scarves are raised at full time. 3-2 the final score. Toney, who missed that chance against Chelsea, took the blame for our exit in the FA Cup. He said, Gaffer, that's on me. I should have finished it. I should have levelled it. But I'll make amends. And I said, Ivan, I know you'll make amends. You're the top scorer of the league. You're the top scorer in English football. You are the king of Bramall Lane. And that's what the fans were trying at full time. 3-2 the final score. The Shockers' late goal keeps us in the hunt for European football. 9 games to go. 3 points behind the Red Devils. 5 behind Arsenal. We've got a game in hand on both. We're approaching the final hurdle of the Premier League season. Do not miss the remaining episodes of Season 3. It is going to be a frantic finish to find out who qualifies for the Europa League next season. But that was today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.